Hello friends and enemies, welcome back to Happy for Now. It's me Isabel here with my mid-month wrap-up. If you're new here and you haven't watched one of these before, I talk about all the books I've read in the first half of the month during this, and then at the end of the month I will give you full statistics and all my thoughts and feelings on the books I read on the last half of the month. This one is just thoughts and feelings, no stats, because the month's not over yet. But I have had a great reading month already, I can tell you that right now. And it has been amazing because I think I'm leaving my slump. So like I've still been reading a lot, like compared to most people, but I felt very slumpy in my reading and I'm finally like not feeling as slumpy. So fingers crossed that like we're walking into summer ready to dive into a lot of good books. I've read quite a bit already, so let's just go ahead and get right into it. I will have timestamps down below for the book section and then a timestamp for the manga section and my currently reading, which will be right at the end. So if you're not interested in the manga, you can skip. I do want to also note that it's 30 and 30. My manga reading this month is exponentially up comparatively because of 30 and 30, where we read 30 volumes of manga in a month. Any manga, you could read them all in a day. I mean, if you're 30 a day, I'm impressed, but you go to what I'm saying, you can do it all in a weekend. Like, we are really chill about it, but it's a fun time. So yeah, my manga reading is way up this month. All right, first for the books. The first book I read this month / finished listening to was The Quarrymaster by Amanda Milo. I really liked this. This is a grumpy sunshine alien romance. This was wrecked by Brie over at In Love and Words, and is why I wanted to read it. She loved this book, and generally speaking, if Brie loves a book, I will usually enjoy it. She may 5-star and I'll 4-star it, which is what happened here. And it just was a fun time. I did feel a little lost in the world at times, but overall I really enjoyed it, and I would like to revisit this book at some point in the next like year or so, because again, a grumpy boss sunshiny human alien is just one of my favorite things. So it's no surprise I enjoyed it, honestly. And I just really I was really surprised by it. This was a Patreon / members book club pick for March. I read it like right at the end of March, so it ended up rolling into April. Next, I finally read That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon by Kimberly Lemming. This was one that I've been told by multiple people I needed to read and that they thought I would love, and oh my gosh, you were not wrong. This is like golden retriever energy demon, and a like kind of sunshiny, but also just like wants to be left to her own like little plot of land and like do her own thing and be left alone heroine. Oh, this was so good. So they adventure through the land and have to take out the evil sorceress who's controlling this land. And it just was like a romp of an adventure in the best way, with like a really great romance. And there's a moment where he's like, well, you're mine. And she's like, what are you talking about? And I just was like, yes, this is my favorite. Just he's very much like golden retriever-y for a demon. If you have been curious about this one, I think this is a great option to pick up. It is like fantasy light, I feel like. It's not so heavy in world building or anything that you're gonna be like drowning in it or annoyed by it, but it's like the perfect amount of world building. And I need to read more by this author, because this series took me by surprise at how much I loved it. I gave it 4.5 stars. I think I just wish it was a little longer. Like, it was just missing a little something to make me 5-star or 6-star it. So there's that. Highly recommend that one, because oh my gosh, it just was so good. And yeah, I now need to go read everything by Kimberly Lemming. She only has 2 books out right now, this and one other, and I am just like going to be caught up and waiting for more. Next, I read Mind to Possess by Nalani Singh. I am working my way through this Changeling series. There's a vlog series happening for this. The vlog with the next 6-ish books, depending on how many I get through before the vlog, will be dropping at the end of the month. So I did read this one. I gave it 3 stars. I'm not gonna go too in depth. What I will say is this one was book 4 in the series, and I just didn't care, which is gonna be a trend you'll see in a minute with this set of books. I actually haven't started the last ones because of this. This one follows a girl named Talon, whatever you want to call her, who like has left this friend behind. It's like supposed to be childhood friends to lovers, kind of childhood friends to somewhat enemies to lovers situation, and I just didn't care. Like, I felt like I was supposed to care so much more about this couple and feel like they were meant to be together because it's fated mates, and instead I was left feeling like Talon was a burden on Clay, our hero, and it just didn't work for me at the end of the day. So 3 stars, being generous, because I feel like if I gave it 2 or 2.5, I wouldn't want to continue the series, and I do want to continue the series. So 3 stars to Mind to Possess. Vlog coming soon where I don't love this book. Then I read Below Zero by Ali Hazelwood. This is the 3rd and final in her STEMinist novella series. These are repurposed fan fictions. I enjoyed this one a lot more. I think book 2 is still my favorite in the series, but they just all lack something. So I gave this one 4 stars as well. I think all the other ones I gave them 3 or 3.5. This one ranks, like it's Stuck on You, this one, and the first one. I felt like the conceit of the book was a little ridiculous. Of course, I don't know enough about it to like hate on it though. Like I don't know enough about sciencey stuff like this. Like I know science stuff, but I don't know like space travel science stuff. Does that make sense? And I thought it was just like, okay. Like it just was okay. It was well voice acted. It was interesting. It was like enough of an interesting plot because like they met and hooked up, and then this is like a second chance, which I always really enjoy second chance romances usually. So like when it has a good reason, when it's not just like a dumb reason. So that part I liked about it a lot, and I liked our hero. I thought it was really interesting, and I liked getting to see all the other couples at the end. That was really cute. So I gave it 4, but it's one where I could see myself dropping it down too. It's just, these are not the best, they're not the worst. I would not be buying them to put on my bookshelves. I will say that. Next, I read A Walk in the Park by Rebecca Weatherspoon. This is her Audible original. This is available if you have an Audible subscription or an Audible Plus subscription. I give this 5 stars. This was so cute. I don't want to give too much away because it's so short and quick, but the plot centers around 2 people being signed up to adopt the same dog, and they decide to come to an agreement to share custody of the dog, and it is precious, like so precious. I highly, highly recommend this one. It's one of the favorites of this like Audible original series where they've been picking up some authors I love and releasing books so far. Oh, delightful, fun time, solid romance. Also explicit. It is more explicit than some of the other ones I've read in this series, so that also made me very happy. Next, I read Hook, Line, and Sinker, which I buddy read with Megan over at This Past Romance. If anyone ever wants to buddy read with me, just hit me up and let me know and we can pick a book. I'm down. I'm not the best buddy reader, I will warn you now. But I'm always down. So she wanted to read the newest Tessa Bailey. I did as well, and we were like, let's do it. We decided to finally read it this week, and I give it a 4 star. It is a solid continuation of this series. It worked really well. I really liked Fox. I really liked Hannah. I felt like it was missing something again. So it was a 4 star because there was like this thing with Fox not connecting the dots. I think that was bothering me. I think it took him too long to figure out that like he was more than what people said he was. And I also just felt like the ending, I was split on if I was happy with how the ending worked out, how their HEA worked out. But we got this great 10-year later flashback for an epilogue, which was really, really cute and I quite enjoyed. So, I mean, overall it was good. There was great communication. This is a pretty solid friends to lovers. You get more of their friendship in the first book though. So if you're looking for like heavy friendship stuff before they hook up, you're not gonna find that in this book. And I also just enjoyed Hannah like struggling with not being a main character in life because I don't, you know, that's a big thing for some people, right? To want to be the main character. And I thought it was interesting having her struggle with it and how she handled it all. Next, I read The Dragon Bride by Katie Robert. This came out at the end of March. This was my members pick for April. Members, if you're watching, which you probably are, and you haven't already, in the Discord, in Patreon, and on the YouTube community tab, if you are a friendship or higher member, you have access to the reading vlog where I read the 3 of these, or the last 3 picks. So be sure to go check that out. But if not, my total thoughts on this is, holy crap, this was short. I don't know why I was convinced this would be longer. And I remember Katie talking about this becoming more of a world than she expected when she first wrote this book, and like getting a map commissioned and all this stuff. And I was like reading this and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm already 50% through. Wait, hold on, I'm done. It moved so quickly, and that's not like a complaint to move quickly, but it was like quick in a way where I was like desiring more world building, more development around what's going on. But I still left really excited to read book 2, which is going to be The Kraken in October-ish. I'll get it early because I'm a member of her Patreon, which is like the best benefit ever. But that left me wanting more, which is why it's a 4-star and not a 5. I think if we'd had a little more world development, this would have easily been a 5-star for me. This had some of my current favorite tropes to read about. There is breeding kink in this. I do want to note that. It is not used to get the character pregnant breeding kink necessarily. It's more just in the dirty talk. There's also primal play, and he has two penises, so there's that. But this was just absolutely delightful. It was really, really fun. Oh, I do want to give another quick content note. There is domestic abuse discussion, and our main character, Briar Rose, has suffered from domestic abuse. So that is part of the plot, but it does not happen on page necessarily, but it is talked about. And it also, there's murder, but it's not on the page, but it's kind of discussed. So I just want you to know that going in, because that is a big part of this. But yeah, I loved this. I loved Briar. I loved Soul. I'm excited to get my signed copy. I'm excited to have it on my bookshelves, and I'm excited for more monster romances from Katie, because I feel like she's gonna kill it. That was a 4-star, by the way. But next I read I Think I Might Need You by Christina C. Jones. This one surprised me in a big way, because it has a trope I don't like, generally speaking. Although now I'm like, maybe I need to try this trope more. I don't know. But of course, Christina C. Jones would give me a trope I don't like, and I would enjoy it. I feel the same way about Katie Robert and a couple other authors who like always manage to make me like something I don't normally love. So it's, you know, there's always exceptions to the rule, right? This contains a surprise pregnancy. It happens right in the beginning of the book, so I don't feel like I'm spoiling it for you, but I feel like you should know that going in if you do decide to pick this series up. This is the second book in the Love Sisters. I am slowly working my way through all of Christina C. Jones' backlist. It is never ending, but one day I will get there. This was really cute second chance romance. Our female main character finds out she's pregnant on a live stream, and she's like an internet influencer person. And one of her exes, or two of her exes, are also internet influencer people. One's a dancer and one's like a commentator person. This book really dealt interestingly with the parasocial stuff, like talking about what fans wanted from her and the information they wanted and all the details they needed. And I found that really interesting, because I don't think we're like slowly talking about this more and more in society, I feel like, but like there's such a interesting dynamic between very large influencer people and like their community, and sometimes people get a little too much, and I thought this handled it really well. Somebody who's like on the internet pretty actively, and again, I really liked how the surprise pregnancy worked out. I really enjoyed the second chance romance. It was really cute, great boning as always from Christina C. Jones. Really quick. These are on Hoopla, and they're probably on Scribd too, but they're like 4-hour audiobooks, so you can like tear through one in a sitting depending on what speed you listen on. Like, they're very easy to digest, so I definitely will be diving into the third one this month. Next I read Origin by Lisa Penn and Natasha Lux. These have been all over my FYP on TikTok about Marvel romance books, so you know I had to dive in because I love my Marvel. I thought it was interesting. This one is Wanda and Vision / the Scarlet Witch and Vision. And I thought it was just very neat how it worked out. I mostly was left like, this is interesting, I want to read more on this world, but going like, also I wish this was longer. I didn't feel like we got enough time to develop the storyline or the plots, but we kind of got like a brief intro to the heroes and the villains. Wanda is part of the villains, and Vision was part of, or Watcher. They call the Wanda characters called Scarlet. And then the other one's Watcher was part of the heroes. So it was very interesting to learn about that, and we got to meet the Iron Man equivalent and some of that stuff, which was also interesting, and our Bruce Banner character, I believe. But yeah, curious, going to continue. We'll see what I think. More to come on the Marvel inspired romances. Then the last book I read, and the first book I read for the Dark Romance Readathon, is Stolen Air by Sophie Lark. And this is a 4.5. I didn't love the ending wrap up. That is the reason it's a 4.5. It felt like it just closed up so quick that I was like not prepared for it to end. This is a Beauty and the Beast retelling style, captor captive. Mikolaj was amazing as a character in this. I really enjoyed his story and his backstory, like what was going on. And Nessa was amazing as well. I just really enjoyed them. I do think Nessa was Sophie like showing us a female main character who does ballet and all these things and is viewed as less than in her family, actually bringing value to the family by like falling in love with this man and how that all worked out. It was really good. Really, really good. Really enjoyed a lot of it. And I loved how we watched like Mikolaj become more and more invested in Nessa, which is always one of my favorite things when I read those Beauty and the Beast types retellings. Yeah, I really liked it. I really like Sophie Lark, and I'm excited to keep reading more Sophie Lark, which we'll talk about in my currently reading section. It is manga time. So I'm gonna grab my mangas and we're gonna talk about all the mangas that I've read so far this month. This is gonna be a long mid-month, I'm sorry. So I've read 13 manga so far this month as of filming this on the 16th. So I'm currently like 2 books behind, but not for long because I'll probably sit down tonight and read at least 2 or 3 more to get caught up again. So let's do this. First, we have volume 7 of Something's Wrong With Us. I loved this. I'm so mad that I'm waiting for the next volume already, and it's fine. It's coming soon. It will be okay. I will survive. But this is a wonderful thriller, dark, romancy manga. It's kind of in both categories. If you like thriller manga, you would like this, and if you like dark romance manga, like, you would also like this. It's so good. It is so good. And we just got a continuation of a cliffhanger that has taken us months to get. It delivered, and I cannot wait for more. So I did give this 5 stars because I love this freaking series. Next we have, ooh, that's backwards. Next we have I'm a Wolf, But My Boss is a Sheep. This is a really, really cute manga about a girl who is a little sheep, and she's the boss, and her employee is a wolf, and this department is like full of sheeps, and they've ran off all of the other animals, the predator ones, and he came from sales. They have like little crushes on each other, and it's just a really cute workplace romance. Yeah, I guess it's a little strange, they're animal-y, but also it just works. Like, it's just really, really cute. The next volume doesn't come out until the summer, so I'm eagerly awaiting it. But overall, 4 stars, absolutely wonderful first volume. Next, we have A Rose in Blood, volume 2. This was a 3.5 star for me. This is a continuation of volume 1. I wanted more plot, and this was kind of a lot of wandering around the Gothic Manor situation. It was a little confusing, it was a little weird, it just didn't quite work for me, but I'm excited to see where volume 3 goes, and I will probably continue reading the series as long as like the volumes continue to be good, decent. Then I read Mint Chocolate volume 5. This is a stepbrother romance. They already knew each other. They had crushes on each other, and they're in high school, and then their parents are like, I met someone I want to marry, and it turns out it's each other's parents. So it's not like we've lived together our whole lives, I like you. It kind of worked for me well, and there's a really cute and solid communication in this book, and I really love that part of it. So if you like good communication and you're interested in a step-sibling manga that's not like gross, this one is great. I continue to love this. Absolutely solid. I did give this 4 stars, and I'm excited for volume 6. Next, we have the 5 volumes I read for my most recent vlog, which is me reading mangas a stranger picked, aka Baby Tomes. So she picked out 5 different volumes for me. First up, we have Bungo Stray Dogs, volume 1. I am planning to pick up volumes 2 through 4 probably the next time I'm at the bookstore. This is really interesting, supernatural detective force kind of thing. They're solving crimes in their area. And they all have different supernatural abilities, and they're all named after Japanese authors. So it's a very interesting book. I definitely would like to watch the anime as well. Feels similar-ish to Tokyo Ghoul to me. I've not read Tokyo Ghoul completely, but from what I've watched all the anime. So it feels similar, and that is right up my alley. Bungo Stray Dogs was a 4 star. Then I read one of my first BLs that I've ever read, like specifically besides Dick Fight Island. And this is Therapy Game volume 1. This follows a man who, after a one-night stand with another man that like forgot about the one-night stand, has to get revenge, and it's them like slowly falling in love. It's really, really cute. They do a great job in this one. I definitely want to read volume 2, and I'm picking up the other part of the series. There's like a spin-off series, and there's one somebody gave me in the comments that follows like a sibling. So I'm gonna read all of that because I really liked this, and this was such a fun read. Just a fun, goofy time. Oh wait. I also rated this 4 stars. All right, then I read I Want to Eat Your Pancreas. For anyone who has already read Orange, I think I Want to Eat Your Pancreas is a great second pickup, like bind up to read. This is a really, it's sad. We are following a girl who is dying of pancreatic disease. She's in high school and she befriends this boy who doesn't really have any friends or talk to anyone. And we follow their friendship, and it is precious and darling, and it really captures a lot about like living your best life and all those good things. And that's part of what I really liked about it. So if that appeals to you, this is definitely for you. Big note, she does die at the end. This is not an HEA, this is not an HFN, this is not a romance. It does say it's a bittersweet romance on the back, but you get what I'm saying. Like, don't expect romance genre out of this. But I loved it. I gave it 5 stars. I cried. It made me cry. I don't cry at a lot of things, so 5 stars. Next, I read Rent a Girlfriend, which follows a girl who works as a rental girlfriend and a boy who's recently dumped, looking for companionship, so he rents her. Turns out they go to the same school and keep running into each other, and some hijinks occur, and we get to watch them fake date, and it's just kind of a mess, and I really liked it because it's really messy and weird. It definitely has some of that off-key, ecchi humor situation happening, but I liked it for the most part, and I did pick up 2 more volumes because I'd like to read them. I gave this 4 stars as well. Like, it was interesting. Next, I read Bad Boys Happy Home. This is another BL manga. I love this cover. I think it's just too fun. This follows 2 boys in high school. He has moved out on his own, and he is currently homeless, so he invites him to, they end up living together and slowly like falling for each other. I already picked up the other 2 volumes. It's only a 3-volume set. And it just was really precious. I do want to note that it does touch on being kicked out of your home because you're gay, and homophobia and some of that stuff in Japan. So I thought that was really nice to see discussed, and it felt pretty accurate to what I know people I know have experienced. Obviously that's not accurate to everyone, but overall this just really surprised me, and it was just kind of a really funny, goofy BL. Also, if you're one of my book people watching, you're like, BL, that means boys love, and then GL is girls love, or sapphic, because I always call it. Oh, this was also a 4-star. So pretty much everything that Baby Tom's picked for me was a 4-star, so I think she's really, really good. Next we have Yona of the Dawn, volume 35, and I can't even. Like, I can't tell you anything in this volume. I can tell you volume 36 comes out this summer, and I have a feeling we're headed towards a hiatus. So if you haven't read Yona of the Dawn, get on it, because you have time to catch up. But this, 5 stars, great continuation of the story. I am so invested in this dang series, and a lot of good happens in this volume. A lot of good happens, a lot of bad happens. We're trucking, and I need the next volume. Next, I read the book, The Savior's Book Cafe in Another World. I keep butchering this title. Like, even when I search it on Goodreads, I'm like, that one. I am actually like running to the store to pick volume 2 up as soon as possible because it just came out, or is just coming out. I think Barnes & Noble has it out early. This was so stinking cute. Oh my gosh. So this is one where she gets sent, she's 33, first of all, 33. Love this, love that for us. And she gets asked by like a god to go to another world. And she goes to another world where there's already a savior, and this is the captain of the palace guards. And she like asks all these questions and makes all these demands to get like this book cafe set up, this whole situation, and it looks absolutely amazing. So she goes to this place and runs a little book cafe, and the captain of the guard comes in, and they're like having this really sweet, cute, slow romance. 5 stars. All I want is more. I was so surprised at how much I liked this. I did not think I would. Well, I thought I would like it. I just didn't think I would like it as much as I do. Next we have My Babies, A Sign of Affection, volume 4. Volume 4. This continues their little romance that is like in action and happening now, and it is so precious. I loved this. They went on a little day trip with some friends to like continue teaching ASL to them, or the Japanese Sign Language to them technically. They have like some love feelings and confessions, and they have like a little like sweet sleepover where they like watch movies together and cuddle, and it is precious, and it's all I need in my life. I cannot wait for volume 5. This is another 5-star volume this month, and it's my sweet beans. It's just, this is the cutest thing. If you want to read about a girl who's deaf and has a crush on this boy that she meets, who travels the world, this is it. It is very sweet and cute, and it's definitely perfect for my, like, anyone who likes those kind of slow burn romances with like a really sweet heroine. They've got you covered. And last but the same mangaka, I am starting my reread of Shortcake Cake. So I've only read like 1 or 2 volumes of this previously, and I own the whole series. So I need to read them all because I don't like owning a whole series I haven't read. So I reread Shortcake Cake Volume 1 and give the same rating, 4 stars. I really, really liked this. It's very cute. It is about a girl moving into a boarding house. This is not plot heavy, this volume 1. It's mostly her moving into the boarding house and going on a little like tourist trip around the town with her new roommate. She's in high school, she moves into the boarding house. There's like 3 boys and 3 girls, I think. And we're just getting to it. There's some tension already, and I just can't wait to see how this unfolds. All the manga I read this month so far. Yeah, so it's gonna be long. So let's quickly talk about my currently reading situation. So we are in the middle of the dark romance readathon as I'm filming this, which means that I'm in the middle of 2 books, like usual. Actually 3. I've started Shortcake Cake Volume 2 already. But we have Savage Lover by Sophie Lark. This is book 3 in the Brutal Birthright. I don't really have a lot of thoughts yet. I have like 2 hours left in the audiobook at 3 times speedish. It's fine. Nero seems like an asshole. This looks like this is the one that most people don't love, so I'm just trying to push through it and be done with it sooner than later. And I don't have a ton of audio options for the dark romance readathon, which is partially also why I'm starting to just kind of listen to some of the Sophie Larks as I can here, because I've been unpacking and doing all that fun stuff. Anyways, the other book I'm reading is Haunting Adeline by H.G. Carlton. I know Naima was like, thinks I'm gonna love this one. So far I'm intrigued. I'm only like 2 chapters in because we've been doing so much house stuff since my partner had Good Friday off. We've just been tackling like tons of house projects. So I haven't had time to like sit and read with my eyeballs. But tonight, I'm hoping to sit and read with my eyeballs a lot, and I will be finishing this for the readathon no matter what. Like, I'm finishing the first book in this duet. So far I'm intrigued. Our main character is an author and she seems to have a stalker, but we haven't really met him yet. Like, we've seen him from afar once and that's it. So I don't feel like I have a lot of info to go off of. On that note though, that's all I got. If you made it this far and you watched this whole video, thank you. And if you have a current read you're loving, let me know, or that you already read and loved. Let me know in the comments. Yeah, so leave me the little pink flower in the comments. That's the closest we have to a daisy, I think. And I will have links to all these books I talked about in that description box, as well as links to me, my friend, anywhere on the internet. And I will see y'all in just a few days. Bye.
Already packing, come with me. I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be, life with no distractions. We'll get